Any other comments, Commissioner? Lee?
Yes.
Okay, I have some comments. I think this is terrible rezoning. Don't want to be blunt. First of all, if there's one thing Six Flags doesn't need, it's more apartments. After what we've all gone through the last 2 weeks and that family with the child, I'm amazed that we're sitting here dealing with an apartment application. The STIP letter is not what Mr. Bally would give to East Cobb or West Cobb. I have not seen this. First of all, the STIP letter doesn't even list the density. Let me, come on up, Mr. Bally, feel free. The density's not in this letter, is it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have agreed to a maximum of 270.
Mr. Bally, listen to my question, please. Does the stipulation letter list the density units per acre?
I don't believe it does by units per acre.
I'm sorry, sir. That's my question. Let me ask you another question. Is there any floodplain or wetlands on this property?
It's been noted by stormwater, and we've...
Say yes or no, sir.
There may be some. It's going to be subject to the engineering process to determine how many.
Well, you're coming in under an RM12, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and you have 270 apartments and 90 townhouses, right?
Right.
So under my math, that's 360 units, correct?
That's correct. That was shown on the site plan with the density listed on the site plan. It's a file, but we increased the number of townhomes.
Sir, I get to ask the questions at this time, okay?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. 360
divided by 26.8. If you assume there's no wetlands or floodplain, is 13.43 DUA, correct?
I believe that sounds about correct.
Okay, so the application is overtly requesting greater density than an RM12 permits, correct?
Right, about
13.43 is greater than 12, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that bothers me that that's not anywhere in here because you're not frankly requesting a variance in writing, but you are, in essence, requesting a variance. And while you tell us that you have 8 acres or so of green space, if I look at the staff comments, I'm going to guess, tell me if I'm wrong, that that's probably where it states, paragraph 1, the natural topo of this site is very steep. Slopes on the majority of this site exceed 20% and a significant portion of the site exceeds 30%, and then goes into a litany of concerns about stormwater. Now, I'm assuming, sir, that those 8 acres aren't the flat land, correct?
No, that's correct. I don't know exactly where it's going to be positioned, although we've reserved at least 8 acres for open space for the park.
And let me also ask you to assume, sir, that normally these STIP letters that we receive from your firm and other zoning firms have language, you know, max 10% rental at any given time, et cetera. This doesn't have that either, does it?
The Exhibit A does. We've agreed to the max 10%.
Which we frankly have still not seen. You filed it with the clerk today, but I still haven't seen what Exhibit A
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
has. I mean, frankly, the comment was made by Ms. Barbara Page that maybe we should do this because, or maybe we're told we should do this because it's the best you can get. I have a much bigger vision for Six Flags than this application. I have a much more positive vision for what should be occurring in that area. That area has fantastic access to the interstate. And one doesn't have to have a small vision because of what's transpired before, such as the incidents at Six Flags 2 weeks ago. We need to move that area up. You know, if you wanted to go up to me with a townhouse development, I'd consider it. But this is 270 apartments and 90 townhouses. I just frankly find it to be an application that I certainly can't support. Maybe this board as a whole can, but to me, we're providing with 270 apartments and 90 townhouses the absolute wrong type of rezoning to assist the Six Flags area.
Mr. Chairman, have you been up there in the Six Flags area?
Commissioner, as you know, I've been up there more than I want the last 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, you've been up there the last 2 weeks, yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
up there generally all the time.
I'm speaking on, it was a hotel there was coming up in the Six Flags area, and they didn't want the hotel there. And I can't see where you saying that this is the best, that this is not the best that Six Flags can get. You need to tell me your view and what you think of this zone and what do you think that you see that can come up in the Six Flags area?
Commissioner, I'm happy to answer your question. And frankly, I wouldn't have supported the extended stay hotel at all either. That would have been terrible for this area. I would be interested in RA5. I would be interested in townhomes. There are other tracks in the Six Flags area that I'm very interested in light industrial, because I think we need that workforce development there. We need to be providing those additional jobs in the area. We have some beautiful light industrial developments in the Six Flags area, and over the past year, there's significant interest in properties for light industrial. Companies like Nexen Tire, a Korean tire company that came in there, we didn't even know they were looking. And they signed a lease. So while the residential single-family market is very slow, the industrial market's actually been the best we've seen in the whole time I'm elected here as a commissioner, which dates to 99 when I took office. So from my perspective, I would be supportive of fee simple housing, not rental. Now, having said that, I would be supportive of the types of things these people are talking about if they were seeking to redevelop and to tear down an old apartment complex and to put a nice apartment complex in its place that had the type of stipulations that have been discussed. But I candidly feel this is the wrong direction. A nice LI right next to the to I-20, where, you know, we're talking the four-sided brick, brings jobs in the community, keeps them off the interstate, RA5 townhouse, that's the types of things I would frankly support.
Mr. Chairman, I've been in this seat less than 3 years. How many times has I, myself, my husband, and Murray gotten out there to talk with the development, to come to the Six Flags area, to redevelop those apartments up there? And you know what they said? No.
Commissioner, I don't disagree with you that it takes a long time and that it takes much patience. That's absolutely true. But when you make a decision such as a zoning like this, you're committing this property for at least 20 years. So I'm not so concerned well, frankly, I'm not concerned in growing tax base. I'm concerned in not having to have an extra 15 officers on the payroll every year due to crime in South Cobb. If one literally looks where we're putting our new officers, it's right there in the Six Flags area. And what I see is the revenue going the wrong way. We're taking the added tax revenue and putting it straight into police due to the crime issue there. I'm interested in having a much safer area where we have less need for police officers in the area, not more. And I agree, Commissioner, it does take patience. It is difficult. One wants their district to improve overnight. But frankly, if you look at Commissioner Thompson's district, there were areas where there wasn't a dime spent probably in redevelopment near the, I mean, look at 285 in Atlanta Road or West Village, where there was no investment there before Pacific Group put up roughly $450 million. The important thing to me is its proximity. It's right next to the interstate. It's a fantastic location. Whether it takes a developer 6 months or 3 more years to agree to invest there, I'm willing to wait.
Mr. Chairman, you know as well as I know, there got to be something nice that is going to be there in the Six Flags area for another development to come up there to put homes there. I mean, if they see one just like Cascade Road, for an example, over the years, Cascade Road was just like Six Flags. And one developer happened to decide, hey, I'm in the gold mine. So they start building homes. And once they started, other developers follow them behind them. And that's why Cascade Road is built up. But I feel, to me, as a commissioner for my district, we must start somewhere. And this is the development that I'm looking at.
Mrs. Kesting, I've been working with areas like this along Atlanta Road for about 10 years, and I wonder if it would, if you would mind, you know, if not, then we can go ahead and vote on it today. But I wonder if you would allow me to meet with you, and then meet with the progress you've already made and the developer, and see, and what the chairman, I think the chairman just got their attention, and see if there is a better plan out there. If you would go along with maybe a 30-day wait to do that.
Yeah, I would make a substitute to hold this for 30 days so we can come to the table together and address each other's issue.
Are you okay with the second for that, Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
And I'm fine with that too, Commissioner, sure. Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Give me one quick second.